Circle, start a private chat with Jordyn and call it the Fallout TV.
Circle is confused today. I don't know what that
was. I don't know what's happening. It's fine. Welcome to the Fallout Geometric Edition, where we are your number one source for all. Where we are your number one source for all the fallout of your favorite reality TV shows. Today, we are talking episodes 7 and 8 of The Circle US. I'm Logan Murphy.
I'm Jordyn Lagace.
And we're here, just the two of us today.
Just the two of us.
I thought the same thing. Yes. So yeah, it's just us today, nobody else. Just two friends in a circle chat talking about some Circle. But Jordyn, how are you doing today?
I'm okay. Today is going to be insane, but I am okay.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm with you. It is one of those days, y'all. It's one of those Sundays. But yeah, so we are here to talk episodes 7 and 8 of The Circle US. But before we get started, if you're watching with us live or after the fact on YouTube, make sure you are liking, subscribing, turning on the notifications, commenting, all of the YouTube related algorithm things. The shenanigans of it all. And if you are listening to us after the fact, wherever fine podcasts can be listened to, make sure you are also following, giving us a like, commenting on our podcasts. And without further ado, Jordyn, should we get into this fabulous, lovely episode 7?
Yes, let's do it.
Fabulous. So we are left on a cliffhanger. That wasn't really a cliffhanger all that much. But we are left on the blocking. So we've got Courtney and River doing some blocking. We knew that it was between Terralisha and Emily on who they were going to block, and we ultimately find out that the third person blocked from the Circle is Terralisha. And I will say personally, I was upset about it just because I really, really liked Terralisha from the start.
Yes.
Yeah. So she, as all the other players do, she gets to go visit someone. This time she doesn't get to go visit someone and give them a game-changing power that is kind of dumb and stupid. But she does get to go visit someone, and she decides she is going to visit Chloe. Now, what did you think about that?
I honestly, I didn't expect her not to go see Chloe because they were relatively close to the girl gang.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't surprising to me. Close to the girl gang?
I definitely thought she would have gone to see Trevor, honestly.
I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if she did that either. But,
yeah, I kind of thought, because they had made a connection fairly recently. I figured she would go see him, but unfortunately, she did not do that. So Terralisha, yeah, and Chloe is shocked at this point that Terralisha isn't a catfish because she definitely thought that Terralisha was, which I still don't really understand the catfish situation and why she thought that, but
I did that. I feel like it's another day 3 scenario. Why did she think that Terralisha was a catfish? Because I don't know. I didn't feel explained.
I think her reasoning was just that, and a couple people touched on it, but when they did the photo game where they had to post the 2 photos, I think her main reasoning was I don't like that she used a Snapchat filter on one of her photos. It was something about Snapchat filters, and that being the situation, but I wasn't fully sure what the situation was. I think there were some conversations that we potentially didn't see. But it is what it is. Tara Alicia's gone. We're sad. I'm at least sad.
I'm sad. I think it's now we're at a time where it feels like Chloe or even hopefully Emily could go next.
Definitely that.
I find it interesting that like everyone's actions are definitely like playing into a factor. Like I think had that fight not have happened with Savannah, maybe Tara Alicia would still be here.
Maybe I think they both would still be here, honestly.
Yeah.
But
so
they had to do the fight.
We had to be spicy.
Spicy S and spicy T, not spicy V. I miss Victoria on Big Brother. And so we get the next morning, there's a news feed update, and we see Tara Alicia's video. She said that she came in to show that you can be brainy and beautiful. Love. That she's not a liar. Love. And that she knows who the Joker is, except she doesn't at all. Because when Tara Alicia went to go visit Chloe, she was like, 100% Emily's the Joker. And I'm like, Courtney, you did your job.
Shenanigans apparently worked.
Apparently so. I found it was interesting.
I don't know if that would be the same if they seen Courtney.
Probably not.
No.
Courtney at this like, how do you know that I'm the Joker? But she doesn't because she thinks it's Emily. And then we get a cute little circle chat afterwards. Courtney makes a cute joke about the blocking with being harder than the pancake game. And then Chloe is just like, oh my God, y'all. Not y'all, because she doesn't say that, but oh my God, babes. Tara Alicia came to see me. That was bad. Not as good at an accent today.
Look, at least she didn't lie.
That's true. I mean, I guess it's not really that consequential. I mean, I think if the Joker was actually someone Chloe wasn't close to, I think it would have been an issue. But because it was Courtney, and because Courtney and Chloe, we'll get into it in a little bit, have their little alliance, I think that's honestly what that's why it's not like not making waves as much. So I love that for Chloe, because that could have been detrimental to her game without her even knowing it.
Yeah, good for Chloe for at least not being it not being detrimental. I don't know.
Yeah, and then there's a little bit of talk about like who the Joker is. Like I think the hashtag was like, will the real Joker please stand up? And Courtney was like, it's me, but y'all don't need to know that. And I was like, yes, Courtney. Courtney's giving me everything that I hoped he would, honestly.
I think just off of his profile picture, when we like did the cast analysis, I didn't not expect entertainment.
Absolutely.
So he's at least sticking to the hype as of now.
100%. I think his gameplay's been good. I think with how dumb the Joker twist was, I think he maximized it as much as he possibly could to benefit his game. And I think I think he's putting himself in a pretty decent position moving forward. So then we get this cute little all newbies chat. Lance decides to make a chat with Kat and Mitchell and ends up setting himself up because they're talking and And I oop. And Kat's a big NSYNC fan, and so she's like, she makes up this fake jacket that he wore at a concert in Dallas. And Lisa here, and the theme of this episode today, y'all, is just gonna be, Lisa, what the fuck are you doing? And that's kind of a little bit of the vibes we were getting in our last episode on Friday. I'm just going to continue to reiterate that.
It's the rise and fall of Lisa.
Was there ever a rise? I think it's just a downward fall, my love.
We are going down, down,
entered,
down.
Oh my God, Lance Bass. No. And so Kat at this point is confident that Lance is a catfish, which is true. I noticed a lot this episode. There were a lot of cute moments with Michelle as narrator, like popping in cute little like narration points. This was one of the cute ones where she was talking about, if I think it was something along the lines of, if the sign of a catfish is not remembering what you wore 20 years ago, then everyone's a catfish. And I was just like, this is cute. I'm loving Michelle as the narrator again.
I mean,
she's a comedian. She's a comedian for a reason.
You would think that, like, I guess, like, I think the difference for that would be, like, you're a pop star, you wear how many outfits on tours?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for the most part, yeah, your tours are the same look all the time. But I don't think that should just be a reason to call someone a catfish, even though they're correct.
For me, it would have... Lisa is the she I'm referencing. She probably would have gotten away with it had she been like, oh girl, I don't even remember what I wore 2 days ago. Like if she had just gone I don't even remember, like that sort of route, I think she would have been fine. And Kat even said, like, if you mention somehow still having this, obviously because it's fake, then I know you're a catfish. And so I loved this bit of gameplay from Kat. Like fully,
you're a catfish, you're a catfish, you're a catfish.
You're a catfish even though, or you're real even though you're not a catfish. Or you're real even though
really
you're a catfish.
You're really a catfish.
And what's interesting about Kat is she's been so 50-50. Like it's either she's dead on or she's so far off. It's like she's dead on about Emily, she's dead on about Lance, but then is completely off about Trevor and River. And I'm just like, you know what? At least be confident in what you're saying, even if you're wrong. Like,
yeah.
The sentiment from last episode still stands. Stan Kat, period. So
Circle,
then,
please get Chloe a lipstick still.
Oh my God, yes,
she needs
Chloe,
a lipstick.
Jordyn, I need us to spend at least 30 minutes later, no, I'm kidding, talking about some of Chloe's comments. We'll get to episode 8. I have a lot of thoughts about episode 8. But we get this cute Glamour. We get the Glamour Quins challenge. This is the first part of it where they're actually making it. And Jonathan Van Ness is here. Is it Jonathan or is it Denali dressed as Jonathan Van Ness? We will never know.
Could be Denali getting those coins, darling.
I would gag. I would have gagged. But no, they got the actual Jonathan Van Ness to be on. And so the whole challenge is you get a mannequin
Jonathan
head.
van Ness is not a catfish.
No. Oh, it would have been they probably Drag Race hadn't even premiered at that point. But it would have been so cute if, like, in that sort of vein, they would have Denali as Jonathan Van Ness to be on. Like, how cute would that be?
I would have even liked a Gottmik as Paris Hilton.
That's hot. If you know, you know.
Gore.
But yeah, so gore. We're missing our Drag Race. It was on for 4 months, but we're missing it.
That's coming to an end soon, girlies.
Well, the season already ended.
No, another season begins.
Oh, more Drag Race. Woo. But yeah, so the whole point of the Glamour Queens challenge is to make a mannequin head that looks like you, but extra. And everyone's kind of like doing a good job. And then Jack does not know how to female, does not know how to woman. And this is the point where I fully, like, not that I liked Jack before, but I fully was like, fuck you. Because if I was going to go into the circle as a woman, I don't care what my background is. I'm gonna do some research prior about things about women. Like, just what the fuck? Just what the fuck?
I mean, he was probably busy grubbing his balls the whole time he was doing his mannequin head.
I didn't notice any in these episodes, but there probably were.
Circle's giving us a break.
Later on, he did like flex, kind of, not really, even though there's no bicep there, and like smack his chest. We'll get there. So then they're like waiting for the responses from Jonathan. And so in the meantime, we get a brotherhood chat. Mitchell decides, you know what, he's going to talk to the boys. And so he starts a boys chat with 2 gay men and 2 women. And it was dumb.
Brotherhood boy band? No.
Oh God. And the only part to actually talk about with this chat is we get Trevor and Mitchell talking about both of their relationships with Chloe. And Mitchell is ultimately like, you know what? I'm gonna step down. Like, Chloe is yours. Y'all have that connection. I'm gonna focus on Emily. And at this point, Delisa is starting to like Mitchell a little bit more. She's like, okay, I see you. Like, he very easily could have not stepped down, but he did. And so I think that's gonna do dividends for Mitchell moving forward. In his relationship with Trevor, because they hadn't really had a relationship as much that we've seen.
I feel like Chloe is going to be so disappointed to learn that Trevor is married.
And a woman.
And a woman.
Not that I want either one of them to get blocked, but I just need one of the 2 of them to get blocked and to go visit the other one. Like, I need that to happen. Because I think that would be so funny. But in the aftermath of the brotherhood chat with 2 gay men and 2 women, Chloe decides that she's going to try to go flirt with Big Mitch. And she gets hardcore friend zoned.
I feel bad.
He is just like, I would like to get to know you as a friend, and she is just freaking out, being like, one of the girls must have told him, or maybe he had a conversation with Trevor. I don't know. I'm freaking out. None of that was in a British accent, because I can't really do a good British accent today, but like freaking out.
Well, also, like, the irony of the situation does not go unnoticed on me, because Mitch is leaving her for a man. And Chloe
is flirting with a woman.
Is showmancing a woman who's married to said man.
I can't. So after we get these 2 lovely, lovely conversations, we get the feedback from Jonathan about the Glamour Queen challenge, and he's really highlighting River, Trevor, Chloe, and Kat were like the top 4. A lot of other people did really well. I really liked Mitchell's as well. I thought Mitchell kind of like Mitchell did more than I thought a straight white man could do, and so I was proud. And then not so good is Emily. It's just bad. There's no other way to describe it.
Really, we should. Next time there's a funny challenge like this, we need to get the screenshots.
Honestly, oh my god, it's just they posted it on social media too. They made it the profile photo, I think, on the Circle Netflix Twitter.
I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find this.
Oh my god. The big interesting
Emily Mannequin Head.
The interesting part about this feedback as well is we get two people, being River and Kat, both talking about how Trevor's mannequin kind of has a feminine feel. And so it once again is kind of reinforcing for River and sort of registering in Kat's mind that maybe Trevor is a catfish. And Trevor ends up winning, which...
Stand by, I have photos.
Oh my god. I honestly thought Chloe should have won. I don't know about you.
Yes. I only looked up Emily's mannequin head and stand by.
Oh my god. For the YouTube audience watching, enjoy... Oh, not that. Enjoy some mannequin head. It is just a fucking disaster.
I'm gonna have dreams of nightmares.
I'm gonna have nightmares about it. What is the placement of the eyelashes?
What's the purple eyeliner?
Any of this? We love a purple eyeliner, don't get me wrong, but that's not eyeliner, love.
That's not even on eyes.
That's not even a face. Oh my god. Oh, so bad. So bad.
You're welcome for the nightmares.
Yes. And so we end good old episode 7 with everyone finding out that tomorrow is a double blocking. Bum, bum, bum. And wait. Jack is well, I'm fucked, basically.
And they're off with my head, literally.
Quite literally, off with my mannequin head. That's what we should have called this episode. I'm disappointed in us.
Off with the mannequin head.
Yes, so we get into episode 8. And we start the next morning, the morning of the double blocking. And there's some talk about how 3 real people have been blocked from the circle so far. A lot of people are probably going to be focusing their efforts on getting out Catfish at this point. And we get an interesting point from Lee where he's talking about how...
And so this episode for us is going to end up on another cliffhanger.
Another cliffhanger. Oh my god. But yeah, we get this point. I want to hear what you think about it as well, Jordyn. This point that Lee's making where he's well, now I'm going to become the catfish hunter because he's trying to take the target off of himself as a catfish.
I mean, let's be realistic. They're getting all of these wrong to begin with. Mm-hmm. So
does it even really matter?
Catfish hunter is gonna not matter. Lee.
Yeah, I think Lee is smart to do this. I hope that he just continues to do this in the short term because I don't really see this being beneficial for him in the long term. But yeah, so Jack wakes up and is I need to have some critical conversations. I need to talk to the important people.
And
so like Lance apparently.
Have they had a
And we get a little
conversation yet?
combo between not a one-on-one.
The voices in my head tonight feel very crunchy. I'm like, what's going on?
Right. But yeah, so we get this Emily and Lance chat. A lot of talk about space. They create like a little alliance. And it's at this point that Lisa says, "Oh, I don't really think that Emily's a catfish." Girl.
Not this.
What are you? What? What? Oh, God. I can't, Jordyn. I can't.
You know what? I will say it right now. A catfish is going to win this game.
I feel like it, honestly. Actually, no, I don't want that to happen because I want it to be Cat. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Look, they don't know how to. They can't figure out a catfish.
Well, this is just an isolated incident because Lisa doesn't know what's happening. Lisa has no idea what's happening.
Look,
we get a couple.
I feel like Lisa about to be blocked.
Honestly, we get a cute conversation with Trevor and Kat, where they're just checking in. They had a 3-person conversation with Teralicia before, but now Teralicia's gone, so it's just the 2 of them. And at this point, Kat's trying to push the focus on Trevor's end away from Mitchell and sort of pushing towards Lance and Emily being a catfish. She tells Trevor at this point about the whole Lance with the jacket situation. And a lot of this episode was Kat, having the one-on-one conversations she kind of needed to put herself in a very good position moving forward. And I'm excited for what she can do moving forward. And then we also got this cute Kardashians with a C chat. Chloe, Courtney, and River. I was just like, oh no.
Where does River fit in the Kardashians chat? No?
I'm thinking. I was like, where? I was like, what? I'm like, what Kardashian would he be?
Because I get Chloe and Courtney.
Rob.
Sure.
I guess I was gonna say
Rob
Kendall, but I don't think it's right. Very that. But yeah, otherwise I don't know. But I think it was cute. I think it would have been cuter if it had been a chat with Chloe and Courtney.
Yeah, that would have made more sense to me.
If River hadn't made
River was. Yeah.
I don't know. But regardless, Chloe says that these are the only people she thinks she can trust. They all have a joint realization that Emily's a catfish.
Thank God.
They all kind of get on the same page with that, which I appreciated. Hashtag circle friends forever. Oh my God. Hashtag sparkle titties.
Hashtag sparkle titties. It is.
And okay, Jordyn, my love, we have come to the moment in the podcast where I would like to spend another 30 minutes just talking about 2 iconic moments from this episode, both involving our dear, lovely, amazing Chloe. So the first one, I just don't know how peacock feathers are made.
By abusing the peacock.
Yeah. I was like, love, no. And then, this is skipping ahead because this happens later in this episode. I thought if you heated milk up long enough, it would turn into cheese. I need to tell y'all.
That's churning butter, Miss Chloe. Churning butter.
No, I need to tell y'all. I watched this with my roommate and fully made him pause the video because pause the episode because I couldn't stop wheeze laughing for a good 5 minutes. Like, I was just I could not stop laughing because of how absurd she is. God, I love her. I love her so much. I was hoping she would bring the same level
at all cost.
Chloe for the challenge is what I'm saying now.
Chloe for Big Brother 23.
Oh my god. Chloe for the revamp of Celebrity Big Brother UK. Imagine Chloe in a Big Brother house, Jordyn.
I would be really happy about that.
Oh my god.
Sean will be hitting his head against the wall.
I know.
But I would be very happy.
Bring back BB UK. I miss it. I miss it so much.
Well, if she's in the US, maybe like she could be on BB US.
I was gonna say Celebrity Big Brother US, probably. That'd be a cute moment.
I don't know. Is that gonna happen? Is that ever gonna return?
It was rumored to happen this year and it fell through.
Chaotic.
Because if they were gonna do it, they would have already done it. But I'm fine with leaving the two winners of Celebrity Big Brother US to be Marissa Jarrett Winokur and Tamar Braxton. Like, I'm good. I don't need any other winners. I'm cool. Tamar broke the curse, so I'm good.
And then we get into a game that we would like to call Don't At Me.
Well, that's actually what it was called.
Don't At Me.
I will. No, so this is just anonymous questions. They do something like this every season. So we get Courtney to Chloe asking if she's using her relationship with Trevor, to which she responds, she responds like something about her morals and how she wouldn't take advantage of someone that way, which I believe to be 100% real.
Yes, me too.
Is she using her relationship a little bit? Potentially. And that's strategy, and I don't mind that.
Yeah, it's strategy, 100%.
Yeah. We get Emily to Courtney. When's the fake nice act gonna stop?
And
and the way that he worded it was making it seem like it was someone that wasn't from the original group, which I thought was a good strategy on Jack's end. And we also see
he's got to do something to recover from the mannequin head.
Absolutely. And then Trevor, when it pops up, or Delisa also notes the fakeness that's kind of been going on with Courtney. And she's like, I didn't realize other people were thinking that way. So she kind of notes that in the back of her head. We get Mitchell to Emily asking about her top 5 favorite makeup brands. Jordyn, had you ever heard of Collection Co?
No.
Me either. Shocker.
What is Collection Co?
Fake.
Well, obviously. But now I am curious.
I want someone to be inspired and to make a makeup brand called Collection Co now.
A circle, Collection and Co.
Oh my god. Ooh. And there were some questionable choices going on, and then the big one. Does it exist?
It might.
Oh my God, I would gag. But the other big question we got is River to Trevor. How hard is it to be a catfish? And this is the one where I was like, oh, the girls are not playing today. Okay. Delisa clocks that she thinks it's River or Courtney, which it is. And she talks about she also talks about like her morals, being a single father, and that she kind of is modeling her persona of Trevor as a combination of Trevor himself and also her dad, who was a single father, which I really liked. Oh my God, Collection Co is not real. Oh my God. Stop that.
I think it's like one of those no-name toy kits.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's kind of iconic. Okay.
How he knew that? Because that's obscure as fuck.
He said he made it up. So the fact that he actually got something like close to an actual brand is surprising for me. And then we get another iconic moment from Chloe where she's like, my man has morals. And Michelle goes, and boobs. And I died again. I was just like, Michelle is coming through with the narration this season, and I was on board.
And boobs.
And boobs. We get two other conversations before ratings happen.
Let's go back to that game for a second. Do you think Mitch is realizing he's flirting with a woman? A man?
Well, I was about to get there. Okay. So my answer for that is yes. And the reason why is because we get a chat with Emily and Mitchell, and Jack is like, well, Mitchell was the first person that he talked to was me. Maybe I can do some flirting, kind of rebuild that relationship. And Mitchell goes, I think Emily messaged him something like, how's your stay in the circle, Ben? And Mitchell responds to the camera with, it was better before I figured out you were a dude. And so at this point, Mitchell is just like 100% like knows that this is a catfish at the start. And then Jack is being like a little like trying to gain sympathy from Mitchell. And by the end, Mitchell's like, she may have reeled me back in. And I'm like, oh, so you are a dumb frat boy. You're that girl I knew you were. And I was just like,
at least he has a fantastic ass.
Oh, yes. I also just loved Kat's modeling in the like in between shots was everything. Love. And I love that Jack can't open a jar. I love it. I don't know about you, but I love it.
Well, Jack lacks the muscle to do that.
Yeah, even though he was kind of flexing during this conversation with Mitchell, and I'm just like...
Trying to flex.
Where? And then the last chat we get before the ratings happen is this chat with Kat and Chloe, hashtag tall girls do it better. And this was basically just Kat was like, oh my God, you're one of my favorite reality TV people. And Chloe was like, oh my God, babes, you're one of my girls. That's the accent today. I just need to stop.
You're being banned from your Essex accent.
It's fine. I get it. I thought you were going to say I was banned from Essex. And I was like, that's fair. I get it. And then Kat kind
Chloe's going to see this later and she's going to be like,
oh, 100%.
No Essex for you.
Chloe, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I would love to get a proper accent lesson like you did. Yes, I will absolutely book a flight to Paris with you right now. But Kat kind of brings up talk about the Joker with Chloe in this moment, kind of trying to reel her in as well. And Kat was like, well, the Joker said that you weren't trustworthy, but I like to make my own opinion, which I really appreciate about Kat.
Thank God.
Because I think if she had just listened to what Courtney has said as the Joker, I think things would be going differently.
Yeah.
And so I actually really like that Kat and Chloe are kind of building this relationship. And with that, Jordyn, should we get to some ratings?
Let's get to these ratings.
Fabulous. So we have Emily putting Chloe in first place. Not surprised. And Jack even points out that, like, this is who I've been with since the beginning. I don't really know what to do, but this feels like the best option for me. We get Chloe putting Kat in first, which I love that for Kat. And we see Kat and Trevor both putting each other as first. And at that point, I was like, okay, Kat's obviously ranking high. Love to see it. We have River putting Courtney in second. And we have Lance putting Mitchell in second. And Lisa's reasoning behind putting Mitchell second is that she doesn't feel like a lot of other people would rate him high. And so that kind of is, she's like, she says it's strategy. I don't really get it. Again, another ratings moment from Lisa. Another ratings moment from Lisa where I'm like, I genuinely don't know what you're doing. Like, it doesn't make sense to me what you're saying.
Lisa's in general confused.
I like her, though. I think she's a nice enough person. She just doesn't know how to play the circle. I honestly think if she had gone in as herself,
she would have had a better chance.
She would have had a better chance. Absolutely. Yeah. From there, we get Courtney. We get Courtney putting Lance in third. We get Kat putting Chloe third. I am interested to see who. I'm not gonna ask that question because I know. I was gonna say who did Kat put in second, but I assume it's probably Mitchell.
Yeah.
Because if she's putting Trevor first and Chloe third, I assume it's Mitchell because they came in together. It's kind of the assumption I made. We have Emily putting River fourth, Trevor putting River fifth because of the untrustworthiness. We get Chloe putting Emily sixth, and we have Mitchell putting Courtney seventh because he just hasn't really gotten to know Courtney. None of these rankings really surprised me with the exception of Lance putting Mitchell second. And
I wasn't surprised that Chloe put Emily.
I wasn't.
Just because they've been like together from the start.
I thought she maybe would have put her like fourth or fifth, not necessarily sixth. But when sixth came around, I wasn't really that surprised by it. The one I was more surprised about was Lance putting Mitchell second. And so in the in-between time between ratings and the results, we get a Trevor and River chat where Delisa is trying to bait Lee, being like, I don't know who wrote this question, kind of like guilt tripping him a little bit, and Lee fully falls for it, but kind of bounces back a little bit and kind of deflects any thought that Delisa had about whether he actually wrote the question, which he did. I thought this was a really good move from Lee, kind of being like, I don't know who would do this, like staying positive, River, which I liked. At this point, Jordyn, I mean, we know who gets blocked, but who do you think overall is in the best position?
Overall?
Yeah.
I want to say Chloe and Kat.
Okay.
And then, like, I would put Trevor also in there as the top three.
Okay.
Just because of the ratings.
Yeah. Well, I would actually disagree. I think overall, factoring in like ratings as well as like the strategic aspect and how they're doing strategically, I would honestly say I think Lee is in the best position right now. Because even though he was just an influencer, no one's really looking at Lee now as someone that they want to get blocked. Trevor had talked about it, but the conversation with River before the ratings results kind of shifted him away from River. Whereas I feel like now, and this kind of coincides with the ratings results, now that the top two are who the top two were, I think both of them now have a big target on their backs, which I'm not happy about.
Yeah, I could see that.
I would not be surprised if one of the next people that gets blocked is one of the top two from this ratings. And I don't want to say that, but I feel like that's the reality of the situation because I feel like someone's going to turn. But
yeah.
With that, let's get into the ratings results. And this time, Jordyn, there's no influencers. Because the bottom two in the ratings are automatically blocked.
And
given the outcome, I wasn't mad about it. So we go in reverse order. Yeah, we go in reverse order from what we normally do. And in first place is Chloe. And this moment was so sweet. Like she gets super emotional, talking about how like she's never wanted to be popular, but being popular in the circle for being who she is made her emotional. And I was just like, yes, queen. Yes. I don't know if that's going to bode you well in the circle, but yes. I was very, very happy for Chloe being first.
Especially being over halfway through the season already.
And being first again. This is her second time being first place in the ratings, which either means that she's going to be the next target or she's going to make the finale. There's really no in between at this point. I think Chloe is actually pretty well positioned.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't bite her in the ass.
I hope so too. Second place, to everyone's surprise, Jordyn, is Kat. Yes. Period. Yes.
I don't know why people are surprised.
Mm-hmm. Because she's new, and this is the first time Kat and Mitchell could be rated. And so I guess a lot of people didn't really realize that like Kat's having the conversations, Kat's playing the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that could bite her in the ass if people realize how connected she's getting and how connected she is in such a short time. I fear for Kat moving forward.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but I fear for Kat. I fear for Kat more than I fear for Chloe, honestly, because I think Chloe has sort of positioned herself in a better spot.
Yes.
I hope they both make finale, but in third, someone other than Trevor.
So I find this interesting because that just means that they're realizing that Trevor was in a good spot. So he's starting to go down in the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
So this might not bode well for him moving forward.
Yeah. We get third being River, and Trevor ends up in fourth, which isn't bad. Consistently now, third, fourth. That's not bad. That's where I would want to be. Like, I'm not having to make any difficult decisions, but people like me enough that, like, some people are putting me in, like, the majority of people, I would assume, are putting me in their top half, which is great.
Yeah.
We get fifth being Mitchell, which I wasn't really surprised about, only because I think a lot of people probably put Mitchell either towards the middle of the top half or the middle of the bottom half.
Right.
Like we saw Lance put him second, but I feel like a lot of people probably put him like fourth or fifth, and so that ended up at an average of fifth. leaving Courtney, Lance, and Emily as the last 3 players with 1 spot remaining. And in 6th place ends up being Courtney, means that our blocked players are Lance and Emily. And I was very happy.
You kind of, over the last 2 episodes, I wouldn't even say the last 3 to 4, you had kind of seen that Emily's position was going down.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't a surprise. And the same, I could even say with Lance, was Lisa wasn't playing a good game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think ultimately she would have had a better shot had she came in as Lisa and not Lance.
100%. I think she would have been able to bond with Savannah very easily as Lisa. I think she would have been able to position her in a very good spot to where she would probably still be in the game at this point. I understand going in as Lance, but I knew from the jump whoever was going in as Lance, they weren't going to last long. And
the only way they would have lasted relatively long was if it was actually Lance.
Yeah. So both of them get to go visit someone, but plot twist, Lisa ends up walking into an empty apartment. And then another plot twist, Jordyn, Jack walks into the same apartment. And at this point, I just love, he walks in, he's like, oh my God. And he goes, I'm Jack. And she's like, I'm Lisa. And I'm like, why aren't you saying who you were playing? And then he was like, oh, I'm Emily. And she was like, oh, I'm Lance. And so they're confused. And the plan was that Lisa was going to go visit River, which I am so mad we missed out on that because that would have been cute.
Honestly, Emily going to meet Trevor would have been iconic as hell.
That would have been the best. We honestly were gypped of 2 very good meetups, but instead Circle decides, as they normally do when they do a double blocking, that neither one of them is eliminated. They now have to live in the same apartment, and they get to play together. And this is jumping into the teaser for a bit, but they get to play together as John the Psychic.
Come on, John the Psychic.
But not just a psychic, Jordyn. Part-time psychic, part-time Santa. I need to know if this man is real. Because if he is, I want to be friends with him.
I wonder if he's the better psychic than Miss Cleo.
Not that.
Your Libra, darling.
Not that. So yes, we are left on a bit of a cliffhanger at the end of this episode. What's going to happen? I assume what's going to happen is now that Jack and Lisa are playing together as John the Psychic Santa, that if they somehow win, which it never works out for the double blocking pairs, they never do that well, especially going in so late. It never works out. But if they
Santa will win the people over.
I would fucking cry if Jack and Lisa win this season. Jordyn, I would cry. I would combust, honestly. But we get a little bit of in the teaser for the next episode, we see obviously John the Psychic.
I wonder if people are going to be like, John the Psychic, who do you think is going to win?
Oh, definitely. And I believe there was a psychic on series 1 of Circle UK. And it was basically that sort of situation, and they took him out very easily, very, very quickly.
But you didn't see that coming, John the Psychic.
No. We see a lot of Trevor making plans and like strategic things because they know they're nearing the end. And we see Mitchell actively talking about trying to infiltrate the relationship between Courtney and River, which I found very interesting. I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. And then we see the return of the secret super influencer. For those of you who aren't aware of what that is, it's whoever the top rated person is. They find out secretly that they are the secret super influencer, and they have the sole power to block a player. Normally it's been in person as well, and that's normally like the last blocking. So I assume what we're getting, I don't think we're going to get any new people. I think we're going to get John the Psychic, and then 2 blockings, probably episode 10, episode 12, and then finale. Is kind of where I'm at. But Jordyn, at this point, I can't
believe we're wrapping up the circle. This honestly seems to me like it's flying the hell by.
Well, we've literally only had 2 weeks of circle, so yes, it has. I'm kind of sad and kind of mad that it isn't a bigger season, because I feel like wasn't season 1 a larger cast and like more episodes, or was it the same? Like I don't remember.
I believe it was 12 episodes.
Oh, really? That's so strange. I guess I'm just used to the Circle UK because theirs are like 25 episodes. I think it also has...
What I like about the Circle is you can keep adding people and it keeps the game like different.
Yeah.
I want to say... What the hell is it? Come on, Netflix.
But yeah, at this point, Jordyn, who is your winner pick?
I want Chloe to win.
Okay.
I think if Chloe can get there, I think she has a good shot.
Yeah.
Do I think the next 4 episodes are going to be really hard? Especially being that she's been in the top twice now. And I want to say she's the only person who's been influencer twice.
She is.
That wasn't like, even though she wasn't like influencer, she was still in the top 2.
In an influencer position, because it was Savannah and Teralicia, and then it was Emily and Chloe, and then it was Courtney and River, and she's the first person to repeat.
Right. So I want to say I would love to see her win. I think she's got quite the journey ahead of her. Yeah, she's my winner pick. I don't know if she's going to get there, though.
I think, for me, because I'm concerned about Mitchell trying to target Courtney and River. If they keep Chloe out, if he keeps Chloe out of that conversation, I think she makes finale. But if they somehow get onto the fact that she's in very closely with Courtney and River, I think she's fucked.
Someone else I could see winning would potentially be Trevor.
I was gonna say Trevor.
I think Trevor's, with the way they're sliding down in the rankings, that's what has me worried for Trevor.
I think it genuinely depends on who the influencers are. I think if River is influencer again, I don't think it matters who the other one is. I think Trevor's gone. For me, I want it to be Chloe or Kat. But I honestly, I honestly think River could take it. I think it's a lot of factors depending, but I genuinely do think towards the end game, especially if Lee plays the end game right and pulls on heartstrings the way that he needs to, I genuinely think Lee could win. And I wouldn't be mad at that. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at anyone left winning the game except for Jack and Lisa. And I don't think they stand any chance, genuinely. I think they might make finale if a set of influencers or the secret super influencer decides to take a big shot before finale. But I think at that point,
I really hope the super influencer does not end up being Jack and Lisa.
I don't see any universe where the two of them especially
Santa
are able to get in.
Might be able to look. Jack can scratch his balls and actually feel like a man.
I feel like, honestly,
at least John and Lisa. Well, I mean, like that group, Lisa and Jack. At least there's at least one man on that team. I do not see them getting there, but at least there's one man. Yeah. So Lisa's not gonna fuck up at being a boy.
Well, I'm interested to see how they do, because the maturity of Lisa, for lack of a better term, like, she's not old by any means, and the guy they're playing is literally 65. But like the maturity and like closer to age factor with Lisa paired with, you know, Jack's sort of ingenuity, I think they could do something. I don't see them being an influencer at all, but I could see them making finale and maybe getting like 4th, if anything. But I feel like the last person in, whether it's a new person or a double blocking pair, they never do well across any series of Circle I've seen.
So last season was 12, by the way.
Okay. I mean, I appreciate now that it's 13. Like, I appreciate that. I just wish the US seasons were longer, because I think a lot of people... I literally talked to someone the other day on Tinder. I know, how gross. But I literally was talking to someone the other day about The Circle, and they were like, oh, I didn't even know there was a UK version. So if you haven't watched Circle UK, this is just a short little promo. Go watch it, especially Series 3, because it is honestly one of the best series of reality television I have ever seen. And I've watched the majority of them. Like, across the world, I have watched the majority of them. And the Circle UK Series 3 completely delivered in every way that I wanted it to. I think Series 1 of Circle UK is decent, and Series 2 is pretty good. Series 3 is where it's at.
Before we sign off, what can the viewers expect this week?
You know, Jordyn, that's a great question. So we have got a lot of content coming to you in a very short period of time. We are ramping up what we are doing, because right now, you know, we're doing our BB Can stuff. Hopefully, if you're watching it here, you've watched our BB Can stuff as well. We are about to literally double the amount of shows we're covering, which is a great time. Love it. But it's 2 really, really fun shows. And if you've seen our Twitter, let me pop those on screen, actually, because you can see ours, but you can't see the fallout as well. So if you've seen our Twitter, make sure you're following our socials as well, because at the Fallout TV, at Jordyn Lagace, at Gym Leader Logan with an extra N at the end. Y'all know how it is. But we are adding a pair of shows that I'm super excited about. We are going to be dropping cast assessments for both Big Brother Australia and Drag Race Down Under within the next 24 hours. We're super excited about it. It's more shows that we're covering, but with Circle coming to an end literally basically next week, and then we have the finale, and with Big Brother Canada ending on the horizon, we
I want to say Big Brother Canada is ending around the same time as the Circle.
Believe it's the same week. It may be the same day. It might be the same day. Which is petrifying. But yeah, so we're super excited to add 2 Down Under shows to our docket of shows that we're covering. And then, Jordyn, there is one other super random, I guess you could say, extra thing that we're going to be covering. You want to tell them about that?
I think we should make them wait a little bit longer.
Ooh, okay. I'm okay with that. We're covering something that's not a TV show necessarily. It is shown on TV. That's about as much of a clue as I'll give you. But yeah, we're super excited to be expanding the docket of shows that we're covering on the Fallout TV. This was started with Jordyn doing BB Can, and I'm very excited that I am here. I'm here for the long haul. I'm excited to expand, see what we can cover. I'm excited for some BBUS later on this year, and hopefully it's better than BB22.
Lord, I hope so, because
oh god.
Past US seasons recently, I was just not. I can't.
I haven't watched a full season of BBUS live, Jordyn, since BB18.
This is what I'm saying. Like, after the first few weeks, I lose interest. So
I will say I watched most of BB20.
I'm worried for 23.
I am too.
But we're gonna try.
We're gonna be here covering it and probably talking shit about everyone in the house.
All of them.
The lot. And so with that, let us know if there's any shows coming up that you want us to cover. Let us know what your thoughts are about these 2 episodes, about all 3 of the blockings that we had. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think are going to be the next?
Who do you think is in a good position?
Who do you think is in a good position? Who do you think is in a bad position? Who do you think is in a meh position? Who do you want to win? Who do you think is going to win? Leave us all the comments below. We would love to interact with you guys on YouTube, on our podcasting platforms, on Twitter. And with that, circle, close chat.